Imagine the scene. You're in London, surrounded by tourists, many with cameras in hand, trying to capture as much as possible of the imposing and historic changing of the guard. At the center of this ceremony, a soldier, in an impeccable uniform and rigid stance, stands like a rock amidst the frantic movement around him. He remains motionless, with an impassive expression, as if the world around him doesn't exist. No smile, no response, just the pure embodiment of a living historical symbol, standing the test of time. But what if I told you that this imperturbability has been challenged countless times? From tourists trying to make them laugh to those who attempt to touch the solemn and silent figure of the British monarchy. What happens when these boundaries are tested? In this video, we'll explore some of the most memorable moments of the Royal Guard, balancing respect and humor. Get ready to discover fascinating stories, immortalized by the power of the internet and tourism. Follow the journey of these sentinels of history, who protect more than just a castle. They guard a legacy. Comment, subscribe, and leave a like. It's very important so we can keep bringing you more content. To truly understand these memorable moments with the Royal Guard, we need to take a step back and grasp what's really at stake. The Royal Guard, composed of soldiers of the British monarchy, is not just an elite military force, but also one of the most enduring pillars of British tradition and history. The changing of the Guard ceremony, which attracts thousands of tourists each year, symbolizes the security and continuity of the empire, a reflection of the monarchy's power and stability. But what many don't know is that the Royal Guard has deep roots in Britain's military history. Its origins date back to the 15th century, during the reign of Henry VII, when the first elite guards were established to protect the royal family. Since then, their role has evolved from a simple military force to a symbol of dignity, honor, and tradition. In its early days, the Royal Guard was composed of high-ranking soldiers, selected based on their skills and courage. But over the years, their appearance became just as important as their combat ability, with elaborate uniforms and strict codes of conduct that are still followed with precision today. The changing of the Guard, which takes place twice a day at Buckingham Palace, is more than just a shift change. It is a public celebration of the British monarchy's history. Speaking of ceremonies, the Royal Guard is not just there to stand firm before the crowd. Their mission is to ensure the security of the royal family and, by extension, protect the integrity of British history and tradition. Every movement, every gesture, is calculated to preserve the dignity of the monarchy. The soldier, with his rigid stance and focused gaze, is not just a guardian of security, but of a centuries-old legacy. So, before we dive into moments of laughter and even confusion, it's important to recognize the respect these soldiers must command daily while facing a modern world full of distractions. But what happens when that respect is challenged? When humor, curiosity, or the boldness of tourists break that impenetrable barrier? The Royal Guard, with all its rigidity, has found itself at the center of numerous unusual situations over the years. One of the most fascinating aspects of this topic is how tourists, with their cameras, laughter, and curious gestures, try to interact with these seemingly unshakable soldiers. And often, these moments end up becoming history. Let's start with a classic. In 2019, a video went viral on social media. A tourist, apparently unaware of the strict code of conduct governing the ceremony, decided to provoke the Royal Guard. He approached a Queen's Guard soldier and, with a smile, attempted to make him laugh or at least react. The soldier, in his unyielding stance, remained impassive, but the tourist persisted. Within seconds, a nearby officer quickly intervened, disapproving of the behavior with a firm look and disciplined posture. The moment became a viral sensation, generating thousands of comments from people who were both fascinated and entertained by the situation. But this wasn't an isolated case. In another incident, in 2016, a tourist approached the Royal Guard at Buckingham Palace and decided to take it a step further. He literally tried to make physical contact with one of the soldiers, touching his sword. The result was a swift and effective response from another guard, who promptly intervened and warned the offender. The video was once again shared by thousands of people, making it clear that such breaches of respect never go unnoticed. These episodes raise an interesting discussion. What drives people to test the Royal Guard's resilience? Perhaps it's the idea that they are just soldiers, following a routine parade. Maybe the Guard's impassive posture creates fertile ground for curiosity and the desire to see a human reaction. Or, perhaps, it's simply the thrill of being close to such a unique and historically significant figure. What's most curious about these cases is that, despite attempts to disrupt them, the Guards maintain an impassive and impeccable stance, which, most of the time, only increases public admiration. These moments of provocation are not just demonstrations of the tourist's misjudgment, but also confirmation that the Royal Guard's unwavering posture continues to be respected, even in the most unusual situations. Although Royal Guard soldiers are known for their ability to remain expressionless, there are moments when even the most unshakable posture reaches its limits. These limits are not just physical but also psychological, and when these soldiers are challenged in unexpected ways, their reactions can be surprising. In 2017, during one of the traditional changing of the guard ceremonies at Buckingham Palace, a peculiar incident caught the attention of onlookers. A tourist, excited by the chance to be so close to the British monarchy, attempted something that few would dare. He jumped a security barrier and approached the on-duty soldier. When the soldier, already aware of the man's presence, realized the situation was getting out of control, he reacted quickly, pushing the tourist back while maintaining his rigid stance. The episode was swiftly filmed and spread across social media, leaving everyone astonished by the speed and precision of the response. Another incident that made history occurred in 2018 when a man tried to film a soldier up close. Armed with a camera and unaware of what was coming, the tourist attempted to capture an extreme close-up shot of a royal guard. The soldier, demonstrating an almost superhuman level of patience up to that point, was interrupted by another guard who arrived to secure the area and move the tourist away. These moments are notable not only because of the risks they pose, but also because of how the guards' reactions showcase absolute control over their emotions. In most cases, these interactions demonstrate just how well the Royal Guard is trained to handle situations that are far beyond their normal duties. And so, as we wrap up this journey through some of the most fascinating and unexpected moments of the Royal Guard, one thing is clear. These soldiers are more than just symbols of the past. They are living proof of the discipline and resilience that has defined the British monarchy for centuries. Now, tell us, what do you think of these incidents? Have you ever witnessed something like this in person? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support helps us bring even more amazing content to you. More importantly, they demonstrate the power of discipline and mental preparation, which allow these guards to face situations that few would be able to handle with such precision and calmness. The rigid and unshakable posture of the Royal Guard is not just a display of military discipline, but also a symbol of a tradition that dates back centuries. The way they are trained to maintain a flawless stance, without letting tourists or any other situation interfere with their focus, reflects a profound principle: impartiality. This is the true essence of the power that the Royal Guard exerts. A striking example of this impartiality occurred in 2020 during a guard change when a particularly bold tourist, seemingly looking for a reaction, went as far as questioning the soldier's authority. He began pointing and shouting, trying to provoke some sort of emotional response. However, the soldier maintained his firm stance, without any movement suggesting that he was even listening to the provocations. This behavior was noticed by everyone around, and although the tourist was disappointed not to see a reaction, the true lesson was given. The real power of the Royal Guard lies in its ability to remain above everyday situations, standing on a pedestal of impartiality that cannot be shaken by anything or anyone. This concept of impartiality is especially important when considering the symbolism of the Royal Guard. They are not just soldiers. They represent the stability and continuity of the British monarchy. Therefore, their impassive demeanor is not just about military discipline, but about embodying a higher authority that transcends emotions and momentary conflicts. This earns deep respect from the public, who observe how the guards maintain their dignity in the face of provocations. The training of the Royal Guard is immensely rigorous, preparing them not only for combat situations, but also for these moments of public tension. In a world where quick reactions and loud protests are common, the ability to remain in absolute silence in situations that demand emotion is a reflection of the greatness of their tradition and training. This power of silence is fundamental to their daily performance, especially when dealing with the most unexpected challenges. A striking example of this silent power occurred in 2016, when a tourist, seemingly confused about the limits of interaction with the Royal Guard, got too close to a soldier and began repeatedly commenting on the uniform and the soldier's posture. He was trying to elicit a reaction, anything that would break the barrier of silence. However, the soldier showed no signs of discomfort or response. His attitude remained unchanged until the situation was resolved by the command. This seemingly impassive behavior is what allows the Royal Guard to continue their duty without being distracted by external provocations. Unlike other forms of authority, the Royal Guard is trained to simply ignore and follow their duty without being swayed by the emotions of the moment. This power of silence is even more pronounced in moments of intense pressure. In 2019, a particularly challenging episode occurred when a group of tourists surrounded the Royal Guard with cameras, making noise and trying to interact in a way that could compromise the seriousness of the ceremony. Although the guards were encircled, their posture did not waver. The only response was to remain firm, without expressing frustration, demonstrating such great self-control that, paradoxically, the very absence of reaction became one of the greatest lessons of the moment. Silence, in this case, became a powerful message. Nothing can shake me. This type of response reveals that the Royal Guard is not merely performing a ceremonial role, but also assuming the responsibility of maintaining the order and dignity of a historical institution. Even under public pressure, the ability to remain silent conveys authority in a subtle yet undeniable way. This power does not require words, and its presence is felt through the silent but firm attitude of its guards. This ability to be unwavering in silence, without yielding to provocations or engaging in disputes, is something rare in many aspects of modern society. It reminds us that sometimes words are unnecessary and that true power lies in our ability to stand firm in our principles, regardless of external circumstances. The Royal Guard is not just a military unit. They are one of the fundamental pillars of British history and culture. Each guard, with every step they take, carries centuries of history, symbolizing the continuity of a monarchy that spans generations. This responsibility to preserve the legacy is not just in the hands of those who wear the uniform, but is felt by all who witness their actions, no matter how routine they may seem. It is not just a shift change, but a highly symbolic event that dates back to the 16th century when Henry VIII established the monarchy's first permanent guard. Today, this act of replacing guards is witnessed by thousands of people around the world, not only for its grandeur but for the meticulous way it is carried out, ensuring that tradition remains intact. A particularly notable case that illustrates this commitment to historical legacy happened in 2012 when the Royal Guard participated in the celebrations of Queen Elizabeth II's Diamond Jubilee. During this celebration, the Royal Guard not only fulfilled its ceremonial duty but also engaged in a series of special performances, featuring some of the most impressive formations the monarchy had ever seen. The event had the power to connect past generations with the present, allowing the British people and the world to experience the ongoing relevance of the Royal Guard in a modern context. Even in moments of celebration, the Guard maintained its traditional posture and behavior, reinforcing the vital role it plays in preserving the monarchy's history. The importance of the Royal Guard goes beyond symbolism. It is also manifested in the ceremonies and rituals that mark decisive moments in British history. In each of these situations, the members of the Guard act as guardians of the past, reminding everyone of the importance of continuity and stability. By performing their duties with such dedication, these soldiers ensure that the monarchy's history is not lost but is lived and felt in the details of everyday life. This responsibility to preserve the legacy is, without a doubt, one of the greatest treasures of the Royal Guard. And what we see every day is a reflection of an unwavering commitment to tradition, one that withstands time, social and political changes, and continues to be one of the greatest symbols of power and continuity in British history. It's incredible how, in an era of social media and constant distractions, something as solid and unchanging as the Buckingham Palace Guard still exists, preserving the essence of a legacy that spans generations. Their presence reminds us that commitment to history, respect for the past, and an understanding of our own culture are vital for our future. Whether you are a fan of British history, a military culture enthusiast, or simply someone who appreciates discipline and the symbolism of a job well done, the Royal Guard offers valuable lessons that go far beyond their uniforms and ceremonies. In a way, they are a metaphor for life. It's about standing firm, no matter what the world throws at us. And now, I want to hear from you. What is the most remarkable moment of the Royal Guard that has impressed you the most? Have you ever had the chance to see the changing of the Guard in person? Leave your comment below and share your thoughts. We're always ready for a great conversation about history and tradition. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss more fascinating curiosities, epic stories, and much more. See you in the next video.